Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is November 6th, 2024. And with today's victory, Barcelona have broken a record that has stood for 75 years. Also, Inigo Martinez has sent a message to the locker room after the victory over Red Star. And finally, Laporta dreams of signing Rafael Leao. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and this is the Barca News live podcast where we share Barcelona news, where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting that discussion going. And of course, the podcasts are on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, usually around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we're starting a little bit late because of the Champions League match. Now, for those of you who'll be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion and just listen to the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to the Goal Kids Kickback or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are in the description. If you click on them, you'll be supporting this channel, but you would also be helping yourself because you get access to some discounts and offers. Anyways, let's dive right into the news because a couple hours ago, Barcelona defeated Red Star of Belgrade, Red Star of Belgrade, 2-5 in what was an impressive display by Hansi Flick's men, especially during the second half. And with this, Barcelona took home 3 very important points in the Champions League or in their aspirations or hopes to qualify to the next round. And of course, I did do a post-match live analysis analyzing the match. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. It's on the channel. Now, during the match, there was a little bit of bad news because during the final moments, we did see Pau Cubarsí being taken off as a precaution after getting kicked in the face. And while Gabi, a few moments ago, shared an update about Pau Cubarsí on his Instagram page, posting that picture on the left, as you can see, Pau Cubarsí has stitches on his chin, and it's been confirmed that Cubarsí has had to receive 10 stitches to stop the bleeding. So it was definitely a strong kick to the face. It wasn't, he wasn't acting, he wasn't diving. It was a real strong kick to the face because Pau Cubarsí has had to get 10 stitches. So we wish Pau Cubarsí a speedy recovery, and hopefully it's not anything serious because blows to the head are always, of course, concerning, but hopefully it's just a cut. Hopefully he'll heal from this cut sooner rather than later. Now, with today's victory, Barcelona have broken a record that has stood for 75 years. Well, 74, but let's round it up to 75 years. And that record is that after Barcelona scored 5 goals today against Red Star of Belgrade, Barcelona have now scored 55 goals in 16 matches. I'll repeat. Barcelona have scored 55 goals in 16 matches. That's insanity. Now, when I say 16 matches, I mean all the matches of the season so far. 12 in La Liga, 4 in the Champions League. Now, what was the record? The record was previously held by Ferdinand Dosic's Barcelona. Ferdinand Dosic, I think that's how you say his name. It might be Dosic. I don't know. Let's just call him Ferdinand. Ferdinand was a former Barcelona coach, and his Barca held the record for 54 goals in 16 matches. And that record was established in the 1950-1951 season. So 74 years ago, this record has stood. And tonight, Hansi Flick broke it by scoring 55 goals in 60 matches. Again, previous record is 54 in 16. Now it's 55 in 16. That is just one small testament to how amazing Hansi Flick's Barcelona is currently doing. And as I called them in the post-match live analysis, I said this team is relentless, and what they're doing is not normal. Because not only are they winning and doing so convincingly, they're consistently doing with thrashing after thrashing after thrashing, which is not normal. And this is one small proof of that. Flick was able to break a record that has stood for 75 years. Remember, back in the 50s, those football matches were known for high score lines. They used to end 10-7, 7-5, 8-6. They used to have crazy, crazy scores back then, because back then all teams just focused on attacking. There wasn't much defending involved. It was just like a sea of goals. Just both teams scoring at each other back and forth, and whoever had the most at the end was the winner. And back then, everybody was scoring goals. And despite that, Flick, now in modern football, where defenses are a lot tougher to break down, he's able to break that record by scoring 55 goals in 16 matches. Absolute insanity. But it doesn't stop there, because I do have another number for you, another statistic for you, another small proof of how crazy Hansi Flick's Barca is. In 16 matches, Hansi Flick's Barcelona has scored 5 goals in 5 different matches. So out of the 60 matches that Barcelona have played, in 5 of them, the team scored 5 goals. Okay? Xavi's Barca had 4 matches where they scored 5 goals. That's one less than Hansi Flick. In 143 matches. That's crazy. Again, Flick's Barcelona have scored 5 goals in 5 different matches out of 16. Xavi's Barca scored 5 goals in 4 different matches, 1 match less, in 143 matches. If you do the math, that means Xavi's Barca scored 5 goals in 3.5% of matches. Hansi Flick's in almost 33%. 10 times more. That's crazy. But it doesn't stop there. And the reason I'm sharing these numbers for you is because, again, earlier tonight, I said Hansi Flick's Barca is relentless. And again, these numbers, time and time again, show how relentless this Barcelona is. So, let me share this with you. Now, this is the standing table, or the standings of the Champions League. As you can see, with today's victory, Barcelona are now in 6th place, right? In the top 8. These are the 8 teams that would qualify directly to the round of 16, to the knockout stages. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Let's look at this column right here. Okay? Barcelona has scored 15 goals in 4 matches so far. And as you can see, it's the team that has scored the most goals in all of the Champions League. In 2nd place is Dortmund with 13. And then in 3rd place, I think we have Celta with 11. No, Bayern Munich, sorry, with 11. So, Barcelona are the highest scoring team in all of the Champions League. And it doesn't stop there. Okay? Let's look at La Liga's standings. Because, of course, Barcelona are right now in 1st place with 33 points. And they have scored 40 goals. Barcelona has scored 40 goals in 12 matches and only allowed 11. That is crazy. So not only is Barcelona the highest scoring team in the Champions League, they are the highest scoring team in La Liga. And in La Liga, they have the best ratio for scored goals versus allowed, because they have scored 40 goals and only allowed 11. But it doesn't stop there. More numbers to show how crazy Hansi Flick's Barcelona is. As you can see, you have Barcelona with 40 goals. In second place, we have Real Madrid with 21 goals. And then Atletico de Madrid with 18 goals. If you add that up, that's 39 goals. So Barcelona have scored more goals than Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid combined. Barcelona has 40, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid has 39. That's crazy. But it doesn't stop there, because remember our trident, Lamine, Coutinho, and Lewandowski. They are the most dangerous trident in Europe, and they have scored 33 goals. Our trident has scored 33 goals. Real Madrid has 21. So our trident alone, that's without including Olmo, who's also scoring, or Pedri, who's also scoring, or Fermin, who's also scoring, or Inigo, who's also scored, or any of the other players that have scored. Just our trident alone has scored more goals than any other team in La Liga. Just our trident, ladies and gentlemen. Our trident, Rafinha, Lamine, Lewandowski have scored more than Real Madrid, more than Atletico Madrid, more than Villarreal, Osasuna, blah, 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 blah. You go down all the list, and our trident alone has scored more goals than any other club in La Liga. Barcelona have scored more goals than any other club in La Liga. They have scored more goals than any club in the Champions League. Barcelona have scored more goals than Madrid and Atletico Madrid combined. And again, Flick's Barca breaking a 75-year-old record by scoring 55 goals in 16 matches. Just let that sit. 55 goals in 16 matches. Absolute insanity. So now you see why I called Barcelona relentless, because Hansi Flick's Barcelona is absolutely relentless. And these numbers are just a small proof of that. Anyways, let's get back to, or let's start, because we haven't even started, but let's start with the comment section, and then we will talk about the statements of both Hansi Flick and the MVP of the match, Inigo Martinez. Fitzroy says, Mo, I think we played badly regardless of the win. My man of the match is Kunde with his 3 assists. I completely disagree. We did not play badly, not even close. The first half was complicated. Barcelona struggled a little bit, but it wasn't a bad half. We dominated the first half. We created a lot of chances. We had the ball possession, but we couldn't find the back of the net. And that's because Red Star were playing a 4-1-4-1, so they overpopulated their third. I talked more in detail about this during the post-match live analysis. So if you want to see more details or more in-depth analysis, watch that. But first half, we struggled to score. We didn't struggle. We struggled to score, but nonetheless, we still dominated. Second half, forget about it. Floodgates open, and Barcelona just were cruising. Badly, not even close. All right, let's see. Tapin says, Gerard Martinez is a dead footballer. Jeez, big fella, can't do anything. He can't attack, can't defend, and can't even run. He moves like he's on. Okay, again. Gerard Martin is a Barca Athletic player. If you're expecting a Barca Athletic player to start in a Champions League and all of a sudden be Puyol overnight, that's not going to happen. You need to be more realistic and more patient. Waffle says, you think the team adapted to a new system because it didn't have to forget one? I mean, that's true. We really didn't have a system the last 2 seasons. And I always said that. We don't have a system. And people used to make fun of me, by the way. They were like, oh, identity. What the hell is an identity? Please explain to me what's an identity. They literally used to make fun of me because I said that Xabi's team didn't have an identity. And now these are the same people celebrating that Hansi Flick's team does have an identity. So if you don't know what an identity is, just watch Hansi Flick's Barca, and that's what a team having an identity looks like. So yeah, I agree. There was no system last season. It was 11 players on a field, just doing whatever, just improvising, right? Real One says, what's up, Mo? Greetings from the Carolinas. Wait, you live in both Carolinas? Vizca Barca, based on our current form, what do you think are our chances of winning it all? Pretty high, but again, I don't want to get ahead of myself, because just because you're the best team it doesn't mean you can win it all, right? For example, not last season, but what was it, 3 seasons ago? When Madrid won the Champions League, Manchester City was the best team, no doubt. They were the best team in Europe. They were playing the best football. They were unstoppable. And Madrid still won that Champions League. And they were horrendous. Like that season, they were just awful. They were like, they faced off against teams that were much better than them. Even PSG were playing much better than them. But somehow they always scraped wins, right? They would just park the bus, defend with everything they got, and then in 1 or 2 counterattacks, they were able to score, and then boom, they won the match. So, are we the best team in Europe? Absolutely. Right now, we are the best team in Europe. Can we win it all? Yes, we can. Are we going to win it all? I don't know. Because again, it's not always that the best team wins, right? A lot of times, and we've seen it time and time again, the best team doesn't win, right? Street Fighter says, which one of our players is going to the international break? The only one that has been officially confirmed is Coutinho, because Brazil already released their list or already did their call. So Coutinho is for sure going to Brazil and participating in winter break. Who else? Unofficially, and this is, for sure is going to happen. Lewandowski, I'm sure he's going to be called up by Poland. I mean, he's the best player they got. Lamine, of course, is going to be called up by Spain. Pedri is going to be called up by Spain. Olmo's going to be called up by Spain. They're saying Casado for the first time because, Luis De La Fuente is not blind. He's watching Casado's matches and he's like, oh, shit, I need to have this player. So Casado's probably going to get called up. Koundé is going to get called up by France. Balde, we'll see, because Balde has not been called up lately. Maybe yes, maybe no. Cubarsí is probably going to get called up by Spain. We'll see if Inigo Martinez gets his first call-up, right? Because he didn't last winter break, last international break. But so far, he's been doing amazing. So maybe Luis De La Fuente calls him up. I hope not, because I would rather him stay home getting rest. But I'm sure he would love to get that call-up. I'm sure it would mean a lot for him, and he deserves it. Who else am I missing? So Casado, Pedri, Olmo. We'll see if Fermin gets called up to the first team or whether he gets called up again to the under-21 team. And am I missing any other players? That's it, I think. But anyways, the same as usual, with the difference that this time around, Casado might get a call-up, and then the rest is always the same players, right? All right. Anyways, let's get back to the news and then we'll do more comments. But let's discuss the statements of first Hansi Flick in the post-match interview after Barcelona defeated Red Star, and then Inigo's statements, because Inigo was not completely happy with Barcelona's victory. Anyways, let's start with Hansi Flick, who had to say the following. Damn it, I always do this. I can't see because of the freaking... let's do this. There you go. I'm very happy and I really value what we're doing. We played very well with the ball and also defending and pressing well. We pushed for 90 minutes. It's not easy to be focused the whole game against a team like Red Star. I'm not even going to try to say that. I think it's Crvena Zvezda. Zvezda. Yeah, Red Star. We'll just say Red Star. Now, they asked him about Robert Lewandowski because Lewandowski was 3 goals away from reaching 100 in the Champions League and, reaching the only 2 players who've been able to get triple digits, which are Messi and Penaldo. And in regard, but of course, Lewandowski only scored 2 goals, so now he's at 99. He's still missing 1. So they asked Flick about his substitution. And Flick said, if I had known, maybe I wouldn't have changed it. His first goal was very important because after it went 1-1, I was afraid that the team could fall back. Is it better for him to hit the 100 goals at home? Honestly, I don't think about these things. We need the players in the best conditions. We play on Sunday again. So, Flick, happy with the performance, happy with how the team pressured and how they moved the ball, but saying, that they weren't able to maintain the same intensity the 90 minutes because it's, of course, an opponent that's challenging. Let's not say a difficult opponent, but it's challenging, especially at their stadium. Red Star are known to always being a strong opponent in their own stadium. Their stadium is always very hostile to visiting teams. And then about Lewandowski saying, had I known, maybe I would have left him so he could score his, his 100th goal in the Champions League. But is it better had he done that at the stadium or at home? He's like, that's not what I'm thinking about. In other words, Flick did not take off Lewandowski thinking, oh, he's about to reach 100. I prefer he does it at home, because those are stupid things that a coach like Flick is not thinking about. He's thinking about winning. He's thinking about his players being in the best condition. And given that game was over, Barcelona had won it already before the 90th minute, and we still have a match in 2-3 days. He's like, the best thing I can do right now is rotate my players. Not, let me take him off so he can score his 100th goal at home. That's just a stupid question asked by, I don't want to say a stupid reporter, but come on, man. What were you thinking? Anyways, then let's talk about Inigo Martinez's statements, because Inigo was not completely happy with what he saw on the field. Now, this is what the MVP of the match said. I'm not used to receiving these awards. I was talking about the MVP. For me, this belongs to the whole team. It's everyone's effort. Today, the victory was very important. We had to win no matter what. As soon as they scored the goal, we relaxed. But in the second half, it was us. We score the first goal, and often we relax. We play short with less rhythm, and they, playing at home and risking everything, push us. In the end, it happened to us again. We have to learn from this. Again, we have to learn from this. More difficult matches will come, and we must not give anything away. So spoken like a true leader, like a true captain, because even though technically speaking, Inigo Martinez is not a captain, I've always said he is a captain without an armband. You see it time and time again on the field. The way he's always, giving orders, the way he's always organizing the back line. You can tell that Inigo Martinez is a leader through and through on the field. And we also know from other players that he's also a leader off the field, right? In the locker room, always motivating the players, helping the youngsters, taking Kouassi under his wing to teach him, to make him a better defender. So we know that he's a leader through and through, and these statements prove it. Because yes, he's happy the team won. Yes, he's happy it was a thrashing. Yes, he's happy that they took home 3 points. Yes, he's happy that he got the MVP award, but still doesn't distract him away from something that Barcelona should have done better, which is not relax after scoring, because he is right. When Barcelona outscored the first goal, they relaxed, and then Red Star were able to score their goal against Espanyol, right? Kind of the same thing happened to us in the second half. We relaxed. They were able to score 2 goals. One of them was ruled offside, so it ended up being 1-3. So very, very important lesson. These are cautionary tales that the team need to learn from, as Inigo Martinez said. Because you might get away with this against teams like Red Star, against teams like Espanyol, but against bigger, stronger teams, you're not going to get away with this, right? The moment you relax against a big team, they're going to take advantage of that, and they could easily come back, tie you, or even defeat you. So even in victory, even when the team thrashed, even when the team won, Inigo Martinez is still being critical. He's still looking for what needs to be improved, and telling the team we need to improve on this. Just because we're celebrating a victory, it doesn't stop us from learning from our mistakes, and it doesn't stop us from improving. Because after all, this team, according to Flick, still not playing at its best, and there's more to come. And the only way that more can come is by learning from our mistakes. So spoken like a true captain, a captain without an armband, but a captain nonetheless. All right, let's do the comment section, and then we will talk about Leao, Rafael Leao, because Laporta dreams of signing him. Jimmy says, with Lamine, Coutinho, and Lewy, we have the best attack in Europe. Yes, we do. By the way, there's people who say that Lewandowski is old and needs to go. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. But yes, we do have the best striding in all of Europe. Mohammed says, Koundé was amazing today. One of the best right back in the world right now. I could not agree more. Koundé is the best right back in Europe right now. No doubts about it. The crazy thing is that Koundé had actually considered not to play as a right back. When Xavi started playing him as a right back, he was upset. He was like, no, I'm a center back. I want to play as a center back. And he did not want to play as a right back. I don't think if anyone had told Koundé that he would become the best right back in Europe, that he would have believed you. He probably would have laughed, would have said, get out of here. I'm a center back. I've always been a center back. I want to play as a center back. And now Look at him. So I'm glad that eventually Koundé changed his mind and he became more open to playing as a right back. And as we also know, because I reported this last season, Koundé, once he accepted his role as a right back, he actually started staying late after trainings, watching videos, learning how to better attack. Because Koundé, he's a natural center back. He's always been a center back. And as a center back, you don't know how to attack. You know how to defend. So Koundé spent a lot of hours last season, after training was done, everybody was gone. He would stay by himself, learning how to better improve his attacking skills. And as we can see, those are paying off because today, Koundé, a hat trick of assists. Absolutely amazing. Koundé is undoubtedly the best right back in Europe right now. And I'm so glad that he changed his mind about playing in that position. Ahmad says, hi, boss. I'm a little bit disappointed that Fatih cannot get enough minutes, especially in the game we played tonight. Fatih needs more matches to discover his full potential. I'm thinking that if Fatih is not getting these minutes, is because most likely he's done. He's done at Barca. I'm not saying he's done in general and that his career is over, but I don't think it just doesn't look like it's going to happen for him at Barca, right? Because Barcelona sent him on loan to Brighton with the idea that he can get minutes, rediscover himself, and come back ready. That didn't happen, right? So when he came back, Barca was like, okay, then he's done, right? We gave him a full season to find his potential. It didn't happen. Let's get rid of him. Flick comes and says, hold on a minute, guys. I think I can find his form. I think I can recover him. And we're not seeing it. Which says to me is that Flick probably is like, this guy doesn't have what I thought he had. That's what I'm thinking. Because otherwise, we would have seen him at least today. I mean, we saw Pau Victor come out before Ansu. So if he's not getting the minutes in matches like this, against small teams, where the match is already over because we're winning, then it tells me something's wrong there. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know if it's mental. But something's wrong there. And it looks like Ansu is done at Barca. Anyways, let's get back to the news and let's talk about Rafael Leao. Because, ladies and gentlemen, things are heating up with the Portuguese winger. Because, as you know, he's had a falling out with his coach at AC Milan, who has benched him. And, of course, when you have a big star like Leao and gets benched, they're immediately going to look for an exit. And as such, his agent, Jorge Mendes, has already started making moves to get Rafael Leao out of the Serie A, or at least out of AC Milan. We'll see if he stays in the Serie A or goes to another league. But Jorge Mendes has already started making moves to get Leao out of Milan. They're saying he could leave as soon as this winter. If it does happen, most likely going to be on loan. But most likely is that he will for sure leave in the summer. So he either leaves in the winter on loan, but most likely 100% he will be gone by the summer and it will be on a permanent transfer. Now, given that this exit is happening, for sure happening, whether this winter on loan and then eventually in the summer on a permanent basis, or whether he stays at Milan until the end of the season and then leaves on a permanent basis next summer, this exit is happening. And as such, Barcelona are paying very, very close attention. Because Barcelona have been tracking Leao for a very long time. They've tried to sign him in the past, but up until now, AC Milan was like, nope, he's not for sale. If you want to take him, you better pay 150. So far, Barcelona have always tried to sign him. They've always wanted him, but they can never get to him. Now, he's leaving for sure. So now, there's a higher possibility to be able to sign him. As such, Barcelona are monitoring and tracking the situation up close, with Jan Laporta paying close attention because Laporta dreams of having Leao on the team. Now, does this mean we're going to sign him? No. But this means that Barcelona are tracking the situation. They're looking for an opportunity. And if there's an opportunity to make this happen, they will make it happen. It doesn't mean it will happen, but Barcelona want to make it happen. Of course, it was going to depend on a lot of things. How much money Milan are going to want. How much money the player's going to want. Me personally, if you ask me, I don't see it happening. Barcelona cannot afford a transfer fee for Leao. And I don't see them being able to afford his salary. Unless he reduces it. And even then, again, what do you do with the transfer fee? It's going to be a high transfer fee. It might not be as high as last summer when Milan wanted Leao. Now they don't want him, but it's still going to be high. It's probably going to be close to 100 mil, maybe even more. So I don't see it happening, but nonetheless, just know that Barcelona tracking the situation close. Laporta would love to sign him, and therefore Deco is attentive to the situation to see whether this is a possibility. Leao, by the way, absolutely destroyed Real Madrid yesterday with their loss 1-3. 1-3 at the Bernabeu. Second loss in a row. Now they have allowed 7 goals and only scored 1 at home. Of course, the other match being Barcelona with the 0-4 crisis. You tell me. All right, let's do the comment section. And then we will talk about Marc Casado, which is our last bit of news. Our warrior in the midfield. All right, let's see. Miss No Fear says, Mo, this Brest team and Atalanta is going to be hard. Brest, man. And I'm not talking about boobs. I'm talking about Brest, the team, is the big surprise of the Champions League. If I'm not mistaken, I think they are in the top 8. I know that for sure. But let me see what position they're in. I mean, they continue to win. They are sitting in 4th place. 4 matches played, 3 victories, 1 draw, 0 defeats. Brest right now have 10 points. That's crazy. Crazy. Definitely surprised. They beat Sparta Praha today 2-1. They beat, let me see. They beat they drew with Bayer Leverkusen. They beat Salzburg 4-0, and they beat Sturm Graz, whatever the hell that team is. SK Sturm Graz 2-1. 3 wins, 1 draw, sitting at the top. It's definitely a team to look out for. Do I think we're going to lose against them? No. I think we have what it takes to beat Brest. But nonetheless, big surprise in the Champions League, right? Last season, if someone mentioned Brest, you would have thought of boobs. You wouldn't even know this team existed. But now, sitting in 4th place. 4 out of what? 36? No, 32. 4 out of 32 teams. Out of the 4th best team in Europe in the Champions League. All right, let's see. Ahmed says, congratulations to the team. We need to focus on the defensive tactics. The goals scored tonight showed some gap in our defense. The injury of Paul Kouarsi is worrying. Please update us. I already did the update about Kouarsi. He got some stitches to his face. I think he should be fine to play. It has nothing to do with his limbs, which is what you need, or legs. It's a cut on the chin. I'm sure he'll be fine. And if he gets rest this upcoming weekend, it'd be very well deserved. Let's see. Tabit says, yes, Rafael Leao, finally Laporta wants him. Laporta's always wanted him. The question is, can we afford him? And I don't think so. I really don't. It's just too much money, man. Also, even though I think Leao is the most talented left winger in the world right now, my only problem with Leao is he's inconsistent. Right? Don't get me wrong. When it's his night, it's his night. He's unstoppable, right? Perfect example, the match against Madrid. That was his night. He was unstoppable. Milan's 3rd goal, if I'm remembering this correctly. Milan's 3rd goal. Leao gets the ball on the flank. He runs. I can't remember which Madrid player tries to stop him. Which one was it? I think it was Carvajal. No, not Carvajal. What's his name? I was confused the two. The guy who took Carvajal's place. Runs into him, bounces off, and falls. It's like he hit a wall, because that's what Rafael Leao is, a wall. Like, he's tall, he's big, he's so strong, and despite his size and strength, he is so fast and explosive, and that's very rare, right? Usually the bigger the player, the slower they are. The smaller the player, the faster they are. This guy defies the laws of physics. He's huge, he's strong, and he's fast. So don't get me wrong. I think Leao is the most talented player, but what I don't like about him is that sometimes he's inconsistent. Plus, again, I don't want Barcelona spending 100 mil on another player. We've seen where that leads us. If Barcelona can get some kind of deal for him, absolutely, I'm all for him. But not to get back to our old ways where just throwing money at players, because if they don't work out, you're in the hole big time. Big time. It happened to us with Dembele, with Coutinho, with Griezmann. I don't want to see that happening to us again, especially because the team is working right now. Anyways, let's do the last bit of news, and then we will do more comments, I promise. But let's just get this last bit of news out of the way, and then we'll do as many comments as you guys like. But let's talk about Marc Casado, our warrior. One of the best revelations in most recent years. One of the best players to come out of La Masia in the most recent years. He's been absolutely unstoppable. I just cannot picture a Barca team without Casado in a double pivot because he has been remarkable. His consistency has been off the charts. Every single game has been a great game. He hasn't even had average matches or bad matches. Every match is an amazing match by Marc Casado. And while it's been revealed that Manchester United, Liverpool, and Newcastle all reached out to Casado's agent to try to see if they can convince him to make a move to the Premier League. Now, of course, Casado was like, no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you. I want to stay in Barcelona. And of course, Barcelona, there's no way in hell they're going to sell Marc Casado to anyone. But that's the news. Teams are already starting to circulate Marc Casado. Everybody's seeing what an amazing player he is. Apparently, except Xabi, because Casado was always there. Xabi never decided to use him, even though he used to call him up to trainings and used to call him up to matches, but never actually used them. But the world is starting to see what the kind of player Casado is, and they're already starting to circle around like vultures, trying to take him away. But of course, Casado, who just recently renewed until 2028, has no intention of leaving, and Barcelona have no intention of letting him go because, of course, you would have to be very, 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 very stupid to let someone like Marc Casado leave. All right, let's get back to the comment section, and then we will end the live stream. But let's see, where did we leave off? Fatmata says, my first time of watching live from Sierra Leone in 1:11 a.m. Wow, that's crazy. Thank you, my friend, for staying up. Thank you for watching and for your comment. And Street Fighter says, I don't think anything is wrong with Fati. He did not play because of circumcised. He got circumcised? I hope not. He's a little bit old to get circumcised. But I do, because Flick has told us time and time again that Fati is 100% physical, 100% physically, which means, I guess, unless he got a circumcision, that he's not 100% physically. But Flick has told us that he's 100% physically, so it means it's not injury. So if it's not an injury, why aren't we seeing him? Especially in a night like tonight where Flick rotated heavily. He used all his 5 substitutions. He took out the entire front 3, right? No, except Lamine. But he took out Lewy, he took out Rafinha, he took out Pedri, So this could have been a good night, especially after once we were up 5-2. That could have been a good time to bring Fati in. Actually, the 2 happened towards the end. Even at the 1-5, he still could have came in. And if he's not coming in, even though Flick is telling us that he is good physically, circumcision aside, it tells me then something's not working. Underrated Baller says, hello, Mo. You never take my name. I am from Nepal. Lots of love from country of Himalayas. Love your content. Wow, all the way from Nepal. That's pretty amazing. Actually, Nepal is on my top 10 places that I want to visit. I've met a few people from Nepal. I've also met people who've gone to Nepal, and everybody telling me the same thing, that the beauty of it is just absolutely amazing. I would love to go to Nepal. I would love to see, the Himalayas, not climb them because I'm not crazy. I'm not trying to die, but it would be cool to, just see, maybe go to the base at the bottom, the highest I'll go. But it would be cool really seeing it. I would love to visit Nepal. But thank you, my friend, for watching and for your comment. And Not the Gamer says, yo, Mo, thoughts on current Pulisic? I don't know his market value, but he locked right wing starting spot. As a left wing at Milan, would you see him at Barca? I'm not sold on Pulisic. Not to say that he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. Just not. Look, if Barcelona is going to go out in the market and spend good money, they should only be spending good money on players that are wow, right? And Pulisic is just not that player. He's a good player. He's a good player on, teams like Milan, like Dortmund. But is he a good player for a team like Barca or Madrid? I don't think so. And again, if we're going to go in the market and spend money to bring a player who's okay for a team like Barca, I would rather just look towards La Masia and bring up a youngster, because we've been through that. The last 7-8 years, that's exactly what we've been doing. Going to the market and bringing average players, Semedos and Braithwaites and Malcolms and all these random-ass signings that had no business coming in Barcelona, but we were still wasting our money on them. And we can't go down that path again. We can't go out there and spend tens and tens of millions, which eventually add up and become hundreds of millions on players that are okay. If we're going to go to the market and spend the very little money we have, it needs to be on players that are going to come here and make the team better. Not even keep the team as good. No, make the team better. And I don't think Pulisic, by signing Pulisic, he would make the team better. I don't think he would make it worse, but he would not make it better. Let's see. Winston says the FDJ was slowing down our offense. Lost almost all air duels. Gerard Martinez, is he a Barca player? Yeah, FDJ will definitely not have a good match today. I think he was one gear below the rest of the team. But he's coming back from injury, so let's cut him some slack. If towards the winter break, he's still at the same level, obviously then I would say just offload him already. But Gerard Martin, again, Barca athletic player. You can't expect a third division player to start in a Champions League and be an absolute beast. That's just very unrealistic. And you have to give these players time. Because remember, the Lamine Yamals and the Pau Cubarsis of the world, those are not the rule. Those are the exceptions. There are very, very few players who can come from the academy and right away be stars. Right? That's very, very rare. The great majority of players, when they come up from the academy, it takes them some time. And while they're getting used to the first division, while they're getting used to the new teammates, remember, these are not only are they getting used to a much faster pace, because first division is 10 times faster pace than third division. So not only are they getting used to this much, much faster pace, they're also getting used to their new teammates, right? And remember, I've talked about this before a lot. Chemistry between players only is developed in matches. That's no way about it. Only when you play matches do you develop chemistry with your teammates. And guess what? Gerard Martin doesn't play with any of these people. He plays in Barca Athletic. So not only is he getting used to first division pace, he's also trying to get used to his teammates. Of course, he's going to suck. Takes time. So be patient. Let's stop being so toxic where we're trying to crucify our own academy players. If we sign someone for 60 mil, 70 mil, who's in their prime, and they don't function, yes, you should crucify him. Because if you're spending that much money on a player, he should perform on day one. If you're bringing a player that is in his prime, he should perform on day one, because they're in their prime. There's no more learning to do. They've already learned everything there is to learn. But why is it that we do the opposite, right? When we signed Rafinha, and I used to say Rafinha's not good enough because he wasn't good enough the last 2 seasons, everybody defended him with everything they had. Even though we had just spent 60 million on him, and even though he had been playing in Europe for several seasons, and even though he was in his prime. But our academy players who cost us zero, who are young, who are still learning how to play, the first mistake, crucify him. That does not make any sense to me. Why would you crucify a player who's still learning, who costs you nothing, but you would do everything to defend a player that we spent millions on who's in his prime? That does not make any sense to me. It's like buying a sports car. You go and buy a Ferrari and spend, 200,000, and the dealership is like, hold on. Thank you for the money, but by the way, this Ferrari is going to take you, a couple of years until it actually starts going, So when you first get it, you can only go 20 kilometers an hour. You will be hella pissed. You'll be like, hell no, I just spent a lot of money in this car. This car better work on day one, right? So why is it backwards? Why are you guys ready to crucify our youngsters who cost us nothing, who are still learning, but you're willing to defend players that cost us tens of millions, who are in their prime and are supposed to already know how to play? Makes zero sense to me. All right, Not the Gamer says, his thoughts on Rafinha hitting double digits in goals and assists, 22 goals, assists in total, I'm pretty sure. Again, proof of what I've been saying the last 2 seasons, that he was underperforming. People used to argue, Mo, you're wrong about Rafinha. He had 10 goals and 11 assists last season. Like, I was supposed to be impressed by that. He already matched that in 2 months. In 2 months, Rafinha has already surpassed his numbers from that entire season last season. That tells you that he was underperforming. And now, finally, Rafinha is at the level that he's supposed to be. I mean, that's what we all expected when Rafinha was signed. When we paid 60 million euros for a player in his prime who had been playing in first division European football for several seasons, that's what we expected. We didn't get it for 2 seasons. People were willing to defend them left and right. But Gerard Martin, who cost us nothing, who's still learning, who's a third division player, never played in first division, let's get rid of him, right? Iñaki, academy goalkeeper, let's get rid of him. He's not good enough. What's his name? The defender, I forgot his name, the curly hair, the one who came in for Pau Cuarsí, had one mistake against Osasuna. Let's get rid of him, right? Makes 0 sense to me. Why are you guys so ready to crucify academy players, but you're willing to defend players who cost us tens of millions? I'll never get it. All right, let's see. I'm the money. Because one has talent and wasn't being properly coached, and the other one doesn't have talent and is being properly coached. Gerard Martin is not from our academy. So how do you know that Gerard Martin doesn't have talent? Did you see him? What did he play? Like, did you watch him play several seasons that first division? No. You're just assuming that he doesn't have talent, right? Because Flick, the proper coach you're talking about, says he has talent. So which one is it? Do you think Flick is a proper coach, or do you think he's not? Because if you're saying that Gerard Martin doesn't have talent, but Flick is saying he is, that means Flick is not a proper coach, right? That means you know more than Flick, and therefore he's not a proper coach. So you can't have your cake and also eat it, right? Either Flick is a proper coach who's properly coaching Gerard Martin, and therefore Gerard Martin does have talent because Flick told us he has talent, or Flick is not a proper coach because he told us Gerard Martin doesn't have talent, but you know him best. Which one is it? Oh, you've been watching sports since 1998. My bad. My bad. That makes you an expert. Sorry. Sergio Dominguez, thank you. Sergio Dominguez, same thing. Sergio Dominguez has one mistake against Osasuna. People ready to crucify him, even though an academy player. I'll never get it. Wow. Anyways. All right, that is all the news from tonight. Again, I did do the post-match live analysis. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, peace, guys.